In the early 90s, I worked as a sous chef at the Hotel Colorado in Glenwood Springs. The employees went to great lengths to tell me all the juicy ghost stories associated with the place. Forbidden rooms, labyrinth basements, hauntings, etc. I never really paid it any mind. But towards the end of my tenure there, two very specific incidences led me to seek employment elsewhere. The kitchen in this place was built in the late 18th century, so think big, very tall ceilings, and damn near ancient fittings and equipment. The first incident happened late at night on what we used to call the bar line. It was a small kitchen off the main kitchen gallery. They had a late party in the bar, and I was finishing up a long day's shift. I had made an etouffee for the party that night, and had to clean a big-ass old pot. I had already finished everything else cleanup-wise, so all I had left was to dry and hang said big-ass old pot. The bar line had an overhead pot hangy thingy, with giant hooks to hold the pots by the handles. These hooks were 4 to 5 inches deep, and could have been used to hang beef. I dried the pot and slipped it on the hook, and made my way around the corner to the break room to clock out and grab my shit. I am the only one left in the kitchen, so I would go through and start to turn off all the lights, and made my way back to the delivery door. As I laid my hand on the doorknob, a tremendous clangor shot through the whole kitchen. It sounded like a cannonball had gone off and made me jump about 3.5 feet off the ground. My heart is racing and my mind is going a mile a minute. I immediately turn all the lights back on and give out the old, "Is anyone there?" No one was. I grabbed the biggest butcher knife we had, affectionately named Old Choppy, and started to slowly ninja my way through the gallery, seeking out whatever the hell made that sound. After a brief but thorough search, I determined that it must have come from the bar line. Great. Nothing like a blind corner and creepy ass activity to make a man feel special. I slowly, and I mean slowly, made my way around the corner, with the ever-faithful Choppy guiding the way. Lo and behold, the pot I had hung up was laying prostrate on the ground. I looked up at the hook, and all is well. How the hell did that thing jump off a 5-inch hook? I was really disturbed by this. I picked up the pot and hung it on the hook on the opposite side of the pot hanger, and quickly made my way out of there. And here's the kicker. As I locked the door from the outside, boom! The sound of a pot hitting the ground, but muffled through the locked door, rings across the dark and empty parking lot. Like any smart man, I immediately noped out of there and went home. It wasn't until I got to bed that I realized that I had the breakfast shift the next day. The next morning, I got in at around 6, and the kitchen had been opened by the kitchen manager, who was putting around getting ready for the banquet later that day. I asked her if anyone had been on the back of the bar line that morning, and she said no, so I decided to go check it out quickly, and then got on with my day. I rounded the corner, and the pot was still on the hook. This was deeply disturbing to me, and I made every effort from that moment to never be on the bar line alone again. The second incident was enough to make me quit. We had a crazy day of prep ahead of us, as we had multiple functions that weekend, including our famous Sunday brunch in the Colorado room. The head chef asked me to come in super early that Sunday so that we could be ready for the two parties and the brunch. I arrived around 4:30 in the morning, with reinforcements scheduled at 5:30, so I immediately went into arsehole and elbows mode, as I had a mountain of shit to get done. I was working on the main line, which faces the Colorado room's main serving doors. However, the line itself faces back into the kitchen galley. So, that puts your back to the dining room whilst working the line. I am deep into work mode when weird sounds start to penetrate my veil of concentration. It sort of sounds like kids playing in the dining room. My subconscious mind immediately discounts this as not my problem, and I don't even break my stride on the line. After a few moments, a niggling thought is itching my brain that just doesn't go away. I distinctly remember a feeling of wrongness slowly descend upon me, and then it hit me. What the hell are kids doing, playing in the Colorado room at 4:30 in the morning? I immediately had that cold, icy feeling shoot up my spine, and then just out of the corner of my vision, I see the door to the Colorado room swing open just a bit, and I begin to hear the unmistakable sound of a rubber ball bouncing into the kitchen. As I swing my gaze quickly to the left, I see a red rubber kickball, clear as day, rebound in the gallery, with the far-off sound of a child's laughter floating through the Colorado room. I just froze. I have never been that freaked out in my entire life. My breath came in ragged gasps, and I stood there rooted to the spot. I must have stood stock still for a full minute, and then I heard the rear doors open and the sound of familiar voices. My reinforcements were there. I have never been more relieved to hear other people's voices than in that moment. The girl who was helping me that morning makes her way to the main line. She immediately stops in her tracks when she sees me, and I shit you not, she says, "You look like you've seen a ghost." I quickly retell the tale to her and the prep boy as we search the galley for the room, to no avail, and then turn the lights in the Colorado room to full blazing ass daylight, and go figure, no ghost children. I put my 2 weeks notice in the following day. The manager of the hotel asked me to sit down with him a few days later after I inquired about a reference. He had heard my tale and wanted to chat to me about it, and boy did he have a tale to tell. I thought that I had heard all of the tales associated with the alleged hauntings of the Hotel Colorado, but apparently she still keeps some secrets. It turns out that not long after the hotel opened, a little girl accidentally chased her rubber ball off a 5th floor balcony and fell to her death. She is frequently seen on the 5th floor in Victorian dress and has even reportedly played catch with some of the guests' children. Her red ball was famous amongst workers of the hotel in previous generations, and its ghostly appearance frequented the banquet rooms, and yes, the kitchens too.